Hello, friends. It's Lisa Williams here, Chief Inspiration Officer at Perfect Side Gigs. Welcome back to our interview series, Corporate to Entrepreneur. We are just having so much fun with our experts who are sharing their journey that they've made from corporate into amazing business building, finding their true joy and passion in what they were meant to do. I'm so excited about our next guest, Miss Janine Finney. I had the pleasure of seeing Janine speak at a conference from a mentor that I have followed for years, Ms. Sharon Lecter. And I asked Janine to be part of our series. I think she's going to provide such value. She made a leap herself, found herself in a time of transition at the age of 50 after 30 years as a corporate executive like myself, and didn't necessarily think she ever would build her own business, but got a surprise visit from her daughter Lory after college graduation with enthusiasm about this new business of network marketing, and was very surprised to see that her mother, her dear friend, did not share this same enthusiasm. What ensued the next couple of years, or I guess about a year, was this back and forth, these conversations, and they've inspired the book that they co-authored, The Flip-Flop CEO, which I'm so excited to learn more about that. Miss Janine, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. So you, like myself, you lived in corporate for many, many years, and you found yourself in this time of transition. I would just love for you to share with our audience a little bit about your journey, how you made that leap, and what this joy has brought to your life through that.
Yes, well, I did find myself in a tough spot after working for 10 years at a job that I absolutely loved, and the company was sold. And I really didn't know what I was going to do next. And at the same time, my daughter Lory had just graduated from U of A, and she went into the corporate world immediately. She had great jobs, earning great salaries, and had a lot of freedom and flexibility as a salesperson. But nevertheless, she was miserable. She would cry every Sunday night and just could not understand how people could do this for the rest of their lives. And which is so strange because she saw me doing it for a long time. I would go to work in the dark and come home in the dark, and but she just did not want to do that. So when she found out about network marketing, she thought, and actually thought about doing something together, because I was at a crossroads too. But we just could never come up with anything that made sense. And so when she found out about network marketing, she thought, this is it. We can do this on our own schedule. We'll have a lot of freedom. We can make as much money as we want to make. And so she's so excited. And I just was like, I threw a bucket of cold water on her dreams. And she was shocked because I had never been that way, as I've always been encouraging, of her, that she could do anything she put her mind to. And, but I had a bad experience about 35 years ago. And I think maybe it's a similar experience to one that a lot of baby boomers had, where I was invited over for dinner. I think I was going to be the only guest, and I arrived, and there were all these cars parked out front, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I went inside, and there were a bunch of people there, and they pulled the screen down, and they started, drawing things. And I was just so upset because I had been lied to. And unfortunately, I think that's the way they used to do it. That's what they used to teach people to do. And so I was completely resistant. I was not willing to listen to anything. And it's so funny because I've never been that way about anything else, but I was just so sure that I had an accurate perception of this business, and she did not. And I thought she was very naive, and she was being lied to like I had been when people were telling her that, all these great things. And I just thought it wasn't true. So I resisted, and it was a really tough time for us for about a year. And then finally, I actually read a book on an airplane ride back from Denver with Lory. And she was asleep, and I was desperate for something to read. And I looked, and she had this little book sitting in her lap. So I grabbed it. And in 20 minutes, it was like a light switch went on for me. And when she woke up, I was like a different person. She was shocked. I just said, oh my gosh, Lory, not only can we do this, I mean, I feel like I was born to do this, so let's go. And so then we started on our adventure together.
I love it. I love it. And I think you brought up a really good topic. There is such controversy around this business model of network marketing. And so many people, I think, actually don't allow themselves even to consider that model because of that stigma. What can why do you think more people in corporate are not pursuing it as a plan B? What is it, do you think, that holds them back other than that stigma? Are there other things that you can think of?
I think it really has to do with them dealing with outdated beliefs. I did. And I think there's a lot of half truths out there. I think the big thing with network marketing is discernment. And it's really important. My passion is clarity. And there is such a lack of clarity because there are so many half truths. There are things that you hear, but they don't tell the whole story. And so, you hear about every time I start to read an article in a magazine, like a really great business magazine about network marketing, it'll start out great, but it always ends the same way with the same terrible statistics about the failure rates and how much money people spend and they never get anywhere. And I'm always so disappointed. In fact, I've reached out to many of the people that have written those articles and asked if I can send them our book, because I think so many people are just operating with half truths. And as far as like the statistics about the ratio of people that fail, what happens in network marketing is that a lot of people sign up just to get a discount on the products. And so if they sign up to get that deeper discount, they're considered a consultant or a rep, and they're put into the mix of all of the people. And so it skews the numbers way off. And, I think it's because it's so easy to get in and so easy to get out. And there is such a low barrier to entry with this profession. Most professions where you can earn a significant income and have this kind of an opportunity, there typically are you have to have a degree, you have to have, business experience, you have to have a lot of qualifiers. And with this business, really just about anybody can get into it. And a lot of people get in and they don't know what they're doing. They flounder.
Right.
They don't have anybody that's helping them. So they get in and get out. And now they're one more person that says, oh yeah, I tried that. It didn't work for me. But the truth is they never really treated it like a real business.
Right. I think you brought up a good point. There is such a low entry point to network marketing. And I think it does have this, there are a lot of people that maybe they have this outward persona that they're, what is it, kind of fake it till you make it. I think that's one thing that's a stigma as well. One thing I'm curious about though is what my observation is. People have this incredible work ethic that they have in corporate America, building someone else's dream. Why do you think there's that disconnect when it comes to applying that same work ethic to building something for their own family?
You know what? I think it's because of the way we're taught from the very beginning. We've been conditioned to look for a job. And if especially someone like me, I was a great employee. I thought I was doing all the right things. I was following, this plan of moving up the corporate ladder and all of those things that we're sort of taught to do. It's what's admired and respected in our culture. And it's sad, because I think what we're learning right now with the whole COVID thing is that a lot of people, life as they knew it, as far as their work, is going away. And so people are needing to become more creative. And for me, I did not have those skills. I for so long had worked for someone else that I had no entrepreneurial skills, it turns out. And so it's something something that you have to, it takes a little bit of courage, and it's different than going to work for someone else. But what I realized when the company that I worked for was sold, I had put my heart and soul into building someone else's dream so that she could sell the company and retire. And I had nothing to show for my 10 years of devoting myself to that company. And so, you know, if we're not working to pursue our own dreams, we're working for someone that's hired us to pursue theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know you said you didn't have necessarily that entrepreneurial spirit, but I do believe that there's so many skills you did develop in corporate that have made you wildly successful in what you're doing with Lory. So tell us about, you know, what can people expect if they really give themselves a chance to harness those same skills to their own business? What did you learn in corporate that's really helped you?
Oh, so many things. I mean, the truth is that what we ought to do, I think, is think about what we want our life to look like first, and then decide if what we're keep on doing, if we're gonna get there, because we're following an outdated map. And the reason I am such an advocate of network marketing is because a lot of people do have an idea. A lot of people have something that they're thinking they really would like to pursue. But for someone like me who didn't have an idea because I wasn't really thinking about that for a long time, this is a business in a box. This is a business that if you know that what you want your life to look like, you want freedom, you want to be able to open up your calendar, put all the important things to you, your priorities in that calendar first, and do your work all around those things, then this is it. And if you don't have an idea, this business in a box is for you, because it is a turnkey, ready to go business with all the infrastructure built in. And, you know, all that's missing is adding you. And because of my corporate experience, I had all the skills. I mean, I knew how. I was very self-motivated. I was very organized. I was good at follow-up. And so the skills that serve you well in corporate are going to serve you well here also, because they're just smart things to do. And so if you apply those to this business, oh my gosh, it's just amazing what can happen. But one of the things you also said I wanted to circle back to is that one of the challenges with network marketing is all the hype and what you hear, because when people get into this is what they do. They just become these weird people, and they start talking about the hype, and they talk about, you know, you can make this much money and do this. And what I believe is never talked about enough are all the people that are not the rock stars, that are not making, you know, 6 figures a month, but the people like me who have been able to match their corporate income, but do it on their own schedule and be able to work from wherever they are on whatever hours they like, whatever works best for them. If you're a night person, a morning person, if you want to live in some little remote town somewhere, but you live somewhere you don't want to live because you need to, because of your job, I mean, it just kind of checks off all of those things that you can do. And there's a lot of people like me that have created a wonderful lifestyle, and it doesn't have to be that you're, you know, making the rock star income. You can make a really good income, match your corporate income, but we don't talk about those people enough. You only hear about the, you know, the rock star people in network marketing, which is sad. It's sad.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I've observed in 25 years of recruiting is very few people, you know, there wasn't a class that said, what am I meant to do when I grow up? And one observation I've seen in all of my interviews is that there's this generous nature of people in the world of entrepreneurship. And it seems as though we're all trying to become the better version of us. I love that aspect of network marketing. Tell us about that journey and what you've learned, you know, the empowering ability that you have to inspire others in that journey as well.
Yes, this is a personal development course disguised as a business. So you are going to learn to become the best version of yourself because that's how you succeed in this business. And it's a transition. I mean, we wrote our second book, Does This Shoe Fit? Because we couldn't find any other resource out there that compared corporate to network marketing. And they are two different worlds. One operates in more of a scarcity. I mean, when I was in corporate America, I had to look over my shoulder all the time. You know, if somebody else, you know, came into the company, I would be threatened. And it's such that kind of the scarcity mentality. And when I got into network marketing, this business is all about helping other people succeed. And what I didn't understand became more informed is you don't succeed unless you help others succeed. So this business is about, I mean, it is the fairest form of compensation. And it's kind of like if I were a coach. If I were a coach, I could charge you a lot of money to be your coach. And whether you succeed or not succeed, I'm going to still get paid. But this is the ultimate coaching position, and it really is more coaching than selling, and people don't understand that. But if I choose someone to help them see the possibilities, and if I'm successful at mentoring them and helping them be successful, they're going to be successful and they'll be paid well, and I will too, because that's the way the whole compensation is set up. And a lot of people see it, I used to see it as people were trying to recruit me for themselves. And I saw it as being more in it for me kind of thing. The people that I saw, that was my perception. And the truth is, you should be so flattered if somebody is wanting to talk to you about the business, because it means, especially if it's somebody that's successful and really understands how the business operates, it means that they see greatness in you. Because if I sponsor you, I'm not going to go to work for you. I'm going to become your coach and your mentor, and I'm going to devote myself to helping you be successful. That is the opposite of the way it works in corporate America. So there are some very big differences that I think it's important to know in order to, it's like playing a game. You kind of have to know how to play the game in order to play it. And so there's just some different kind of rules, if you will, in this situation versus corporate.
Yeah, I think we talked a little earlier about the lifestyle that this business has afforded you. And I think so many times we're talking to our kids and we ask them what they want to be when they grow up. And I think the better question is really, like you said, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Share with us what the difference is now in your lifestyle versus when you were in corporate.
Oh my gosh, so much different. And I'm so grateful for my daughter. I'm so grateful. It'll make me start crying.
Oh.
Grateful that she didn't give up on me, because she could have given up on her own dreams because I didn't understand. And I think I was just so conditioned to look through these blinders that I had on. You start to think that life is supposed to be Monday through Friday, these hours, and live for the weekends and live for the 2 weeks of vacation or 3 weeks of vacation a year. And this is a lifestyle that allows you to, first of all, choose who you work with. I mean, the fact that I was working with my daughter allowed me to be there when children were all born. And I think about how if I had been in corporate America, I would never have been able to do that. I was there for my mom when she needed me before she passed away last year. And just being able to do the things that are important to you and plan your work around those things is so amazing. It's given me, it has blessed my life in so many ways. And I think the challenge is a lot of people can't even imagine that life could look like this because they were so conditioned to think that it has to look different than this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's interesting because when you think about any time someone starts a new job, there's a lot of things that they don't like. but they never think about quitting because this is my job. I mean, I'm being paid to do this. But it's interesting, you know, there's certainly things in every profession that we just, maybe it's not our favorite thing. But if we can only overcome those things, one of the things that I observe in network marketing is this. Steve Siebold, one of my favorite authors, he calls it approval addiction. And I think so many humans were, you know, it's a part of our DNA. We're seeking approval from others, and therefore when we get a no, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, we're so offended. But tell us about your opinion about approval addiction and what, you know, what amazing joy you can feel if you get over it, get over yourself, you know, and not
Yeah.
worry about what other people think.
I would say absolutely that is the hardest thing about this business. And it's the reason why I have been, I'm on a mission to bring clarity to this topic, because it's so many people have an inaccurate perception, and to continue to allow that inaccurate perception to just go on and have people get mistreated the way they are is just not right to me. And so it just makes me want to be on a crusade to, you know, help people understand it. I think in the very beginning, I just knew what I saw. And so if somebody else didn't see it, I would just try explaining it a different way. Or, you know, I feel like I get it. I get what it's like to have this really strong belief that I know what this is about and I'm right, and, you know, just being unwilling to open my mind. So I understand that. But if you can really have a conversation with someone and walk them through it, which is what our books do, because if people would just be open enough to allow some information to come in and not just close themselves off, you cannot deny that this business is brilliant. The business model is brilliant. The way that the fact that you can buy a virtual business in a box for, you know, like $100 compared to mortgaging your house, or, you know, all of the other things that people do to start businesses. I mean, there are so many things about it that are brilliant. And so I just think that you have to kind of forgive people and just think, well, they don't understand yet, but they will. And I have had some people that treated me very badly. And again, that's why I wanted to get to the root of the problem, which is let's enlighten people about this business.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I love about the model personally is, we talked about this a little bit. People we're so trained to trade our time for money. And I love the passive residual income component to all network marketing firms. Tell us about what that has given to your life, what freedom it's given, both in time and money and things like that.
It's huge. And, you know, it's something that I really wish we would teach in school. It's really the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Sharon Lechter books that first enlightened me about that. And it was my daughter that read it first. And I mean, honestly, if we don't have a strategy for how we're going to get off of that hamster wheel, if we don't have an income replacement plan, we're not ever going to get off of it. So we have to be looking for some way to create money coming in when we're not working, no matter how much we make per hour. I mean, you know, a lot of people are very successful small business owners, attorneys, doctors, but ultimately, if we don't have a way to have that money continue coming in, we're never going to have the freedom. So I've seen that, and once you experience, I am still being paid for work that I did 15 years ago. 15 years ago, when I introduced someone to the products that I represent, those people are still shopping and buying products that, you know, and every time they do, I get a little thank you check because I'm the reason they know about it. So it's a brilliant compensation plan, versus what we're used to, which is, some company hiring Julia Roberts or Catherine Zeta-Jones or some spokesmodel and paying them millions of dollars to advertise something that they don't even use probably. And we think that's okay. But I mean, really having a compensation plan that's designed to reward the person that is told the person about the products and has taken care of them along the way is really much more brilliant. So, and once you've received residual income, I don't know how you can go back to anything else, because anything else you do is simply trading time for money. And so I just think this is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that strikes me is that, we're both moms. My oldest is 20 and he's in college right now. And I think a lot of kids today, they are graduating and they're seeing this life that their parents are leading in corporate, and they just don't see themselves there. It just, like your daughter, she clearly was miserable for a period of time. What would you say to our youth of today that are embarking on whatever their next journey step is, and what network marketing can do for them?
Oh, I just believe that, again, the very most important thing that a young person can do is determine what they want their lives to look like. And, start with that. And if they, if they are better at night than they are in the morning, or they're better at morning than, it's like we fall into our careers. We are encouraged to get a job right from the get-go, and then we kind of just fall into these careers, and then they kind of just roll along, and pretty soon we're just sort of on this treadmill. And I think nobody ever stops to think about what they want their lives to look like. So if we could do that first, and there may be ways that you talk to entrepreneurs all the time, so there are lots of different options. But I am a huge proponent of network marketing because it is so doable for just about anyone. And there are so many different network marketing companies, reputable network marketing companies, and they are not all created the same. So I will say that. That's, again, discernment and clarity, because when, there's some maybe bad ones mixed in, and so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But if you find something that you legitimately love and that you would share with people, whether you were being paid or not, then it's a pretty brilliant business model. So I think it's great for young people. I think sometimes younger people don't necessarily appreciate it. I think that was one of the problems with Lory. I think because she hadn't had enough life experience, I'm not sure that she really appreciated, oh my gosh, how successful she was at 26 years old. But I think now that she's still receiving residual income from that, and now has 3 boys and her life has completely changed, she's very grateful for it. So, and her boys are definitely going to look at what they want their lives to look like before they go into anything. So they're going to start out with that kind of roadmap.
Absolutely. I think you hit on something. We talked about this early. I know we both lost our moms this past year, and my mom, she was that woman that knew what she wanted to be since she was 9 years old. She was a nurse for over 50 years. And yet so few people actually are doing what I think they were meant to do. And I think the principles of entrepreneurship, whatever business you get into, can bring that to your life and help you fulfill that. We talked a little bit earlier about faith and what it means to both of our lives, whether it's God or Allah or a belief in a higher power or just hope in general. I do think we agree that we are all living, a lot of us, maybe a lesser version of us. Tell me about the version of Janine now that is different and what you've discovered through that process.
I definitely believe that oh my gosh, I wouldn't be here. There are emotional roller coasters in this business because of the things we've talked about, the people that don't understand it. And I always have this little sign right above my desk that says, if God leads you to it, he'll lead you through it. And I would look at that little sign. There would be so many times that I'd be thinking, what the heck am I doing? Is this really where I'm supposed to be? And I know that it is where I'm supposed to be, because it really does give us the opportunity to help other people be better versions of themselves and have a better lifestyle. And so I'm so grateful for my faith. It certainly has helped me to endure the tough times, and I do feel like I am absolutely on the course I'm supposed to be on.
Absolutely. Well, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're almost out of time. I could talk to you forever, my dear. I know that you have a complimentary gift that you wanted to offer to our viewers. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, I really do think our books were written for this exact audience. So someone that is going from corporate to entrepreneur and considering network marketing. And so I really do believe that both of our books will be super helpful to anybody that is, you know, looking for their next step or looking for a way. And one of the things you mentioned, this is something that you can do alongside of what you're already doing. You mentioned your mom knew she wanted to be a nurse. And I think one of the things that's really nice about this is you can build this while you're being a nurse or while you're doing whatever else you're doing. And it just gives you more options. If you love being a nurse, maybe the fact that you have this other income coming in allows you to be more picky with the days that you'll work and that kind of thing. So I really would love for people that are considering becoming an entrepreneur to look at this as an option. And so reading our books will help. It's a long way around that question. I would love to have everyone get the first chapter of both of our books. And I don't know if I'd mentioned this, but if you go to our website, so our books are available on Amazon or our website, theflipflopceo.com. And on Amazon, the books are available on Audible and Kindle as well. But on our website, if you go there to buy the books, you can use the code FLIP, F-L-I-P, and receive a 30% discount on the books. And so there's an option for a bundle, both books. I would really encourage you to read both of them. And then I'd love to hear if they've helped you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Janine, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us on our show. And viewers, we are continuing to learn so much from these experts who have made that brave leap themselves from corporate to entrepreneurship and found such joy and passion in their lives as a result of it. Be sure that you tune in next time. This is Lisa Williams, Chief Inspiration Officer at Perfect Side Gigs. Bless you in your life journey, and we'll see you soon. Bye, Janine.
All right, thank you so much.